Hey guys, what's up? It's Finch here. It has been a ridiculously long day, but I'm here to bring you guys some of my games from the Cash Gang Tournament Top 16. So for those of you that don't know what this is, recently my friend John W told me to join this draft tournament, and it was like 300 to 400 some people. And in the first round of the tournament, it was like pools of 5 people. So there were 80 some odd pools of 5 people, or 60 some odd pools of 5 people, whatever it might be. It's 64. Yeah, 64 pools of 5 people. And the top two out of each five advanced. I went 4-0 with a plus 16 differential, so I was able to advance into the top 128. And I was like the 7 or 8 seed within that top 128. So round one, in the round of 128, I won. Round two, round of 64, I won. Round three, round of 32, I also won. That puts me in the final 16. All of those games, including my pool games in the initial brackets of 5 people, all 7 of those games, I believe, 7 are all on my channel, and I went 7-0 in those games. So now we're in the top 16. The top 16 all happened today in a bit of a live tour, double elimination bracket. And that's where you kind of get another life if you get to the top 16. It's kind of cool, but it's also like all live, 15 minutes between battles to prepare. The bracket was revealed a little early though, so I prepared for a couple of these guys last night, and it happened that I made a little video. When I say little, I mean huge, massive video on this channel in which I prepared for my first and my second opponent. I'm not going to say if I won or lost this game because I could have played the same opponent if I won or lost. If they won or lost their game, they did the same result basically, just because it's what a bracket was. I could have played them winners or losers bracket if we both won or lost. So I will say that my first opponent was Vesuvius. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but he's on the alt Senjuiced. So we'll go with that. My second opponent was Dougal. So seeing as all of my preparation is in that 2 hour long video, and I want that video to get views, even if you just skim through it and look at my sets, I'd really advise checking that out. It's really long, so I get if you guys don't want to watch the whole 2 hours, but there's a lot of insight in there and also some funny shit. I mean, it's just kind of a prolonged stream of consciousness and preparation. I go into a lot of in-depth analysis, but if you're like really into the draft preparation scene, then go into that, and I kind of flex my poking knowledge muscles, and on top of that, I also it's kind of a chill time, but instead of going in super pre-game analysis mode, I'm just gonna go through all the sets I used and my opponent used, and then I'll get into the game here, and I'm gonna do that as well for my round two game against Dugal, which will be in a separate upload. But I also may or may not, if I win either of those two games, play other games so I'm not eliminated. And in those games, I'll go through the teams I use, the matchup like normal, and then the battle as per normal as well, as I have in my first 7 uploads. So this one was against Vesuvius or Vesuvius. Again, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to say Vesuvius or Ves. So this guy actually is very good, apparently. When I say apparently, I don't mean let's slight him, but rather I simply was unaware of him largely because I'm new to the draft community. Again, this is my first big draft tournament, but a lot of people predicted him to defeat me and even make it to the final four. Based off what I'm getting is he's not the most actively like in touch player, but his skill ceiling is considered to be one of the best in the pool. And if he has a good run today, then not many people would be surprised. So I knew off the bat I had my hands full, but the match was favorable because he didn't have much ability to break me. He could triple things with the Latias. I really was surprised he didn't bring his Umbreon because it had Heal Bell, and that could do very well against my team and throwing off Toxic. So right off the bat, I'm like, okay, so I could Toxic the Latias, I could Toxic Rotom Heat, the Rotom Wash, I could Toxic the Arcanine, and I could Toxic the Donphan. My Tornadus-T, if you recall from my video yesterday, if you need any introduction, is a near max physical defense. It always lives a +2 Adamant, Mega Scizor, Bullet Punch after Stealth Rocks. So it's got like ton of defense plus defense. It's got Heat Wave, Taunt, Knockoff, Toxic. So it's just really good at forcing progress. My Aegislash also is Toxic and Metal Sound, Shadow Ball, King Shield. So it also can force progress. And then the Tornadus-T Hardwell Scizor. Donphan I keep in check with Defog. Coupled with the fact that I've got ability to just Toxic it and threaten it. What's really cool is that if he's not Life Orb, Modest, Rose Rate, it can't really do a ton to me. Overcoat, Special Defensive Sylveon's great here, and that combined with Aegislash combined with Tornadus-T combined with Body Slam Sylveon keeps any Latias in check. Latias is very versatile, so triple checking it or quadruple checking it is always nice. Of course, Latias can still triple me with a Trick plus Flame Orb set, but since he didn't bring Umbreon, my Sylveon is only needed for heal bell, so it's kind of expendable. I don't mind if it's taking a Flame Orb or even a Choice Scarf / Specs. That's fine. Um, Rotom Mow is there to keep any Rotom Wash shenanigans in check. It doesn't get Signal Beam this generation, keep that in mind. Same with Slowbro for Arcanine. So yeah, I felt as though I had this match pretty much unlocked, except to not misplay, and I would win this game. So let's see if my preparation is indeed leading to the hypothesized result that I feel, which would be a pretty handy victory without risking much, or if he's going to be able to break through. He's a very intelligent player. I will say that after playing him, regardless of this result, that I think this guy's more than capable of winning a tournament like this. But I think the field is inherently stacked against him, so let's see if I can take advantage of that to the fullest of my abilities. So right off the bat, I lead with Tornadus, thinking, okay, if he doesn't lead with Rotom, that's great, but he leads Rotom. I don't want to take a Thunder or any bullshit like that. I go Rotom, he Toxics me, good play there. I bring my Rotom in, and now he goes Roserade on an obvious Volt Switch. I didn't want to Whisper anything. I don't even remember if I had, but I think I did. I go Tornadus, I'm like, okay, he's probably scared of Hurricane. I can get a Toxic off or a Knock off. I go for the Knock just because it's safe, because I'll switch that. Send Roms is out leftovers. He reveals his Light Screen. Very interesting. I forget if I Volt Switch or I Defog here. I just Volt Switch. It only does 7% here. And now I bring in the Mandibuzz going, okay, I've got Brave Bird. I don't think he's going to stay in under any conditions. So I can just Defog away the screen, which worked for me. And then I go back to Rotom mode just because, okay, I've got Heal Bell and Wish. I'd rather not risk him getting a Nasty Plot or a Sub or any nonsense like that. He goes Arcane. I'm like, okay, he's almost definitely going for a Toxic here, but I can't risk this taking a Flare Blitz. So I go right back to Slowbro because I didn't want to risk the Rotom Wash Match for getting Battle Hole real quickly. Because again, I do have Heal Bell, so it's fine. He gets Toxic off, and then I get a Body Press off. That means he's special defensive because it did 28, and he's not scared of taking a Scald. So kind of just figured out his team as is. It's special defensive, Arcanine, and a bulky variant of Rotom with Rocks on Donphan, and an offensive Light with Calm Mind or Choice Specs, and probably a Sword Stance Scizor. He teleports there. Again, that's fine. I'm not risking anything. He's making very little progress. I go to Sylveon here, though, just because I really want to get Heal Ball off. And that's just 13, so it just confirms he's got not much special attack. Here, I go for a Heal Ball, knowing that he's not going to Sleep Powder with my Mandibuzz there. In fact, I thought it would be very likely that he'd be Toxic from Mandibuzz. But he goes for Stun Spore, which also doesn't hit overkill Mandibuzz, but it misses. But it doesn't matter because I clicked Heal Ball there anyway, so that worked out really well for me. I figured since I know he's not Life Orb, he's not going to. So Sludge Bomb doesn't even 2 kill me probably. I go to Mandibuzz here and I just defog the Toxic Spike. It was kind of urgent in doing so, but it's fine. I didn't really feel much of a need otherwise. And now I go for a knockoff, and I knock off a Scizor. It only does 18 though because it's Mega Scizor. So I go to my hard counter and Tornadus-T, and he goes for knocking off my Rocky Helmet. Gets a little chip on that. That's great. I did actually think he'd bring a Donphan, so I thought he'd bring Umbreon, so I didn't think he'd have Rocks on this team. So I ran Rocky Helmet on this and only have Dude Boots on this. The Mandibuzz, just in case he brought Donphan, but it didn't really matter because I got knocked anyway, so getting that chip's cool too. Anyway, here I go for a Toxic, predicting this, or the Arcanine, or the Latias to come in, and I catch that Rotom Wash. That's great. He goes for Volt Switch here, not wanting to Toxic into the Sylveon or Aegislash, which is fine, so it lets him get the Arcanine in, but I don't feel like I'm risking anything, and I don't feel like I risked anything really all game here. I feel like with this knocked and Toxic, it's going to be on a timer, and eventually I Side Shock there because I figure there's nobody's going to pick Body Press by Side Shock, so he's going to go to this if it's free, and I do 76 there, which is great. It also gives me an idea that he's probably like more. He got some physical defense, but mostly special defensive, probably. Anyway, oh yeah, I'm leftovers Mandibuzz, not heavy duty boots. Never mind. See, I figured he wouldn't run rocks. So it's kind of why. Anyway, he goes Arcanine here, and I go for the Heat Wave. That's fine. Given that it's special defensive, I know I live any one hit, even if it's Flare Blitz. I have a good chance of living a critical hit. If it's Adamant with max special defense, which he wasn't anyway, it turned to be plus special defense given Future Cox, I believe. So I felt fine staying in there going for Toxic. He predicted that. That's fine. He gets Roserade in here. And now I go back to Tornadus because it's mid-ground. And he reveals he's Leech Seed. Okay, that's fine with me. That means he doesn't have anything to really threaten me in the long haul. So I go Aegislash here, so he goes Rotom W. I'm like, okay, new thing here that I could use to threaten shit. He goes Arcanine. I believe I just King Shield. No, I actually Shadow Ball there. Great. And here I think I go for a Toxic, knowing he's going to Morning Sun. I'm like, okay, if you want to trade with this and Flare Blitz, that's fine. Because then if this is dead, then all of a sudden Tornadus-T pretty much wins. Tornadus-T plus Sylveon in particular wins. However, I missed the Toxic in the Morning Sun that I predicted, which sucked. So then I just go for King Shield as he teleports, and that brings the Donphan in. but I'm easy to live anyone, even adamant down fan, and I'm also very likely quicker. So I get a toxic off on this. I'm like, okay, we know it's not aromatherapy on the Roserade, so all these toxics are here to stay unless this is like a rest down fan. So I go Mandibuzz here because I know it's got a better chance of living like Adamant Head Smash. It turns out he doesn't even have that, as we see later, which I'm kind of surprised against this team. But anyway, I just go for Defog, and now I go Sylveon, knowing, okay, he could go for like Thunderbolt or Trick or Toxic, and that's fine. He ends up tricking me Specs, which unfortunately I only Heal Bell, so I'm just I don't have Hyper Voice. I have Body Slam, so I can just go for Heal Bell only there, and I do that. Healing off Slowbro's poison, so he has to go through another Toxic, and then I just go for the Side Shock there, thinking, okay, maybe I'll get greedy and go to Rotom Wash or Roserade. That's fine. I go Mandibuzz here, scouting for Thunderbolt, because I know I live 2, even from Modest. He gets a critical hit there. That's fine. I'm left over, so I live another critical hit. I just can't get paralyzed here, and I don't. So I get a couple turns to roost up, and I'm in great shape again. So pretty confident. I just don't see why I lose this. In fact, honestly, I could probably win the 6-0 at this point. Because he's just not really lasting a ton. He U-turns there. He gets the Toxic off here into Rotom Mo, which is good for him. But again, I can just Volt Switch around and force progress. I knock off the boots there, which he says, oh no, but I don't have rocks in my team, so I don't know what he expects. I guess he's just scared of the taunt in general. Anyway, I get Toxic off there, and I just taunt the Rotom Lash because I know that Volt Switch is doing around 50, so I can just regen it off. I don't want a Pain Splitting or Thunder Wave or any nonsense like that. So anyway, he goes Latias here, and he Thunderbolts. It only does 19. Now I could just go for the Heal Bell again. So yeah, it forced another Toxic out of him. And now he's at 12 Toxics. If I use 2 of them, I mean, I guess he could Toxic with the Rotom Wash too, so not really a big deal about stalling. And I go Iron Defense here just in case he stays in. Just to kind of force his hand here. He goes Thunderbolt. I go back to Sylveon, and this time I wish. I go to Tornadus-T on the Morning Sun, and I Toxic their Canine finally. And now, seeing as I wish to fall, it only did 43. So yeah, I crit wouldn't have killed him before either way, as I said, and it wasn't plus attack. So I just felt I was in the clear here. I knock off of the Scizor, but yeah, I mean, at this point, there's no chance in hell I lose. I knock off the leftovers in the Latias, and then I also claim a Toxic on it, as I'm not scared of Thunderbolt, as it need a crit to kill me, and at this point, I didn't think it was really going to lose either way. Honestly, I won without Tornadus-T at this point, because Aegislash did really well. Actually, you know what? In hindsight, if you go back a couple turns, to this turn, I really shouldn't have risked that crit, actually. This wasn't worth it, because if he crits me on this turn, I could lose to the Scizor. I forgot the Scizor. Wow. You know what? This was a poor play. I was in such an advantaged position that I really didn't need to risk that. I had to risk trips on Mandibuzz, but if I lose Mandibuzz, I could win anyway. So, you know what? I should have waited until I was at full health to be that Toxic. But it turns out that I didn't get a crit, so I won for sure anyway. I go Tornadus-T here on that Scizor. He goes for Roost, he's already at full. He's just got to Shadow Ball to check damage, I guess. But yeah, at this point, I don't want to risk crits. And also, Morning Sun PP is at 6 now, and he's permanently Toxic, so I'm feeling fine. This Rotom W is looking like it's not going to be Pain Split. It's probably going to be Hydro Pump, because I do have Rhyperior on my team after all. So I feel great. And here I just can go Mandibuzz. And yeah, this game is drawn out by a lot, but again, I don't really feel like I'm being threatened here. I think there's a sequence where he keeps Toxic Spikes up for a little bit, and then he gets Leech Seed and Poison, which is fine. But I can kind of roost, and yeah, he's going to stall some roost, but I also saw a lot of Sludge Bombs, and eventually I can get the fall. He leads there, so I figured, okay, he's predicting Switch to Aegislash, so I'll go to Aegislash the next turn on the Sludge Bomb. Then he misses Leech Seed, that sucks, but I didn't really need the health in this anyway, just getting one of these off. And he hits, and then I get another one off, and now I feel comfortable. Switching to Tornadus. He can't touch me with Sludge Bomb, but I didn't want to give him too much Leech. And also, he's running low on Leech PP. There's only 11 left. So yeah, it's fine. I get a Heat Wave off from the Arcanine there. And this time, I believe I taunt, predicting the Morning Sun, because I live a Flab, which crit always. Rotom W is low. I go Rotom Mo, though, just in case. I taunt him so he can't Pain Split. Yeah, and now this time, I actually risk the Rotom just because his Rotom is so low. And I figure if he leaves me low, then if he's Pain Split last for whatever reason, then he can't Pain Split into me, and he still can't kill me from 18. And after that Volt Switch, he actually is in Heat Wave range, so I get that Heat Wave kill. That's great. See, I go Rotom on Rotom, and he reveals his Hydro Pump Blast, which I probably live there given his lack of special attack investment, but that miss is unfortunate for him. I go for Pain Split there as he goes Scizor as well, so I heal all the way up. So all of a sudden that Roserade sequence favored me, as now he's forced to roost, and I get 20% off that Volt Switch, meaning he's probably more of a physically defensive variant of Scizor, so he was going to kill from like 90 or whatever. And he goes down fan here, and I don't feel like risking, so I just go Mandibuzz. I don't mind Lump Poison. He goes for Toxic to add insult to injury, so can't really impact me. I feel like I'm in a great spot, but I risked again to scout for a Head Smash one more time. He just goes rock, so I feel like I could just deflect him here. And he knocks off my leftovers. It's a good play by him. I roost here. He returns to feeling he's actually faster than me when he was in Brave range, which I guess he's just a really fast Scizor for like 240 Aether Slash and offensive Sylveon. Really gonna ball punch that anyway. So yeah, that's fine. No, I Brave Bird and I only do 20% to the Arcanine at -1. Now I go Slowbro. And here I think I just body press. Does 15 to the offensive Latias. And now I just go Aether Slash on a Side Shock. And I Shadow Ball as he lets Scizor go. And again, there's just no way I lose this game. I Shadow Ball and I'm quicker than the Donphan that we saw before, and it dies. We saw it before at the speed. He says good game, and then he forfeits. So I win 105 turns, 6-0. Really 6-3, but yeah, there was no way I was losing this matchup given my team relative to his team. I played it really well. I only made one real misplay, and the only way I could have lost off that was a crit plus throw out playing afterwards is if I healed belt, I could have won with Slowbro once this died, assuming that the Latias stayed low with the Toxic, so I did Toxic in the turn, because it would have 1v1 Scizor with the Iron Defense variant. So yeah, once I killed the Slowbro and got a heal belt off again, and this was at 65 EC, so it was very possible. So I think I played this really nice. Even if you got time to crit, I won in all likelihood. So good going. Good game to Vesuvius. You're definitely a really strong player. I forget how your bracket went in losing his bracket. I know he didn't make the Final Four, unfortunately, but definitely a good player. He talks mad game as well. Mad respect for him overall. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. More to come very soon. That's for sure. All right, guys. It's Finch. Peace. Have a nice night.